Hi book friends, welcome back to J Reads. I am here with another video and today we're going to do our August TBR. So last month I read a total of 7 books, my favorite being The Six of Crows, and this month for August I am going to read, I'm going to attempt to read 10 books. I can't even hold them up. Honestly, they're all big books. Let's see. Let's try to do this. So this is my August TBR. So I have quite a few books I want to read this month, quite a few books I want to talk about and just let you know what led me to picking them up. Okay guys, so the first book I have on my TBR is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I've heard a ton of things about this book. I've heard that it's awesome. You're going to feel all the feels. So I'm super excited, and pretty much it's about a well-established woman named Lily. What did I just say? A well-established woman named Lily. She went to college. She's really smart, I'm assuming attractive. She opens her own business and she meets a brilliant neurosurgeon named Ryle. Together they kind of hit it off, the chemistry's there, and they form a relationship. However, Ryle has this disturbing aversion to relationships. I have no idea what that means, but you've got my attention. So within this relationship, although she has the feels, the chemistry's there, something is not right, something is not working, and it gets her to thinking about her past relationship with her first love, Atlas. In the same time that she begins to have these thoughts, Atlas comes back into the picture and it questions everything that Lily and Ryle have built together. So I'm super excited to read this. I'm not even sure if this is a book that you go into expecting it to be about lessons for the main character and also for the reader. Like, am I gonna get a takeaway from this? Or if it's our typical love triangle. It kind of sounds like a love triangle, but I'm not super sure. I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I'm super excited to give this a try. It will be my first book by Colleen Hoover, so I'm hoping I love it. Alrighty, so my second book for this month is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Again, this is a brand new author for me. I have seen many books from her and I've wanted to read them because they're psychological mystery thrillers, and like I've said before in my previous videos, I love those type of books. However, I just haven't had a chance to pick up this author's book yet. So this will be my first book by Lisa Jewell, Then She Was Gone. And pretty much you have this young girl, I believe her name is Ellie. Yeah, Ellie Mack. She is described as the perfect daughter until suddenly she's gone. She just disappears into thin air. And you have her mom, Laurel Mack, who 10 years later, she's, I don't want to say grieving, but she's learning how to move on with her life. She's picking up the pieces of what's left and she's still getting through it. In the process of doing that, she meets a young dad. Well, I don't even know if he's young, but she meets a guy in a cafe and they hit it off. I'm assuming they start dating because she meets his daughter Poppy, and Poppy is described as the spitting image of her daughter Ellie. Anyways, being that Poppy is a spitting image of her daughter Ellie, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna say she reminds Laurel of her daughter Ellie. This gets her to asking the questions again as to what actually happened to Ellie. Where is she? Was she taken? Did she just up and leave? And it opens that chapter that she thought she had closed once upon a time. So like I said, I'm super excited to read this. This will be my first Lisa Jewell book. I'm hoping that I really love it so I can read the others. And yeah, let's just give it a try. So the next book I have on my TBR is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And this book is pretty different for me. I love reading fantasy and adventure, but I don't think I've read anything quite, well, I haven't read anything quite like this because I haven't read it yet. But going from the plot alone, I haven't read this plot. Much the premise in this story is you have a group of people who are punished. Well, you have gods that are punished for something that they've done years ago. And as their punishment, they are sent to Earth every 7 years as mortals. And on Earth, you have groups and heritages and groups of people, tribes, let's say tribes of people who hunt them. And if they succeed and actually kill them, they can gain their divinity and their immortality and their god, they become a god themselves. So you've got Laura, whose family, they're hunters. They were hunters. Until suddenly her family is killed by a rival tribe of hunters, and they in turn become gods. And Laura, pretty much after her family is killed, she kind of gives up this huntress life. She doesn't want to hunt anymore. She does not participate in the Agon every 7 years anymore, and she goes and lives a normal life until suddenly she has an opportunity after a close friend of hers from the past comes back into her life. You've got an original goddess who is, I'm assuming, no longer a god anymore, who seek out her help and to get her back into the hunt. And they offer her an opportunity to leave Agon behind once and for all. I think I'm really excited for this book because Lore sounds like the underdog. Like, she had this entire family who used to hunt, and this is, that was their way of life until suddenly they were killed by a rival tribe, and her kind of walking away, taking the high road. It's a bit sad, right? And then suddenly she's pulled back. Well, we don't even know if she makes the decision to go back. I'm just assuming she goes back because, a story does happen. So I'm excited to read this. As you can tell, I'm already assuming what I think is going to happen, but yeah, that is Lore. Okay, so the fourth book I want to read this month is And Not a Happy Family by Shari LaPena. I believe this is her most recent book. I am trying to keep up with all of her stories because I absolutely love all of them. But pretty much in this novel, again, you have an upstate family living in New York. They have money, they're rich, okay? You got rich parents, okay? Suddenly they are murdered one night, and they have 3 adult children who stand to inherit their millions. So it begs the burning question throughout the novel. Was their death, were they murdered by one of their kids? Was someone else involved? What happened to these people? And I cannot wait to get into this. All of her novels, like I told in my July wrap up, Shari LaPena novels start out really good. I love the character development. I love how the characters are so different, and the story is, there are always interesting plots and interesting storylines in the Shari LaPena novel. Everyone typically has a very strong motive of being the person who done it. So I love how they start out. I don't tend to like all of the endings in her books, but because the buildup is so good, I get through it anyway. I'm really excited for this. I cannot wait to read this, and I cannot wait to let you guys know what I thought about it. Not a Happy Family by Shari LaPena. So up next on my TBR is Pretty Things by Janelle Brown. Pretty Things originally takes place in LA. And we have our main character, Nina, who has a very fulfilling life. However, it does not bring her the dough she wants. It's not bringing in the coins. It's not bringing in the money she wants. So she becomes a con artist, which is not far-fetched for her because her mom used to be a con artist until suddenly her mom becomes ill. So Nina has to pull off the biggest scam of her life alongside her boyfriend, Lachlan. But that is not all. We also have another character, Vanessa, who actually comes from a life of luxury, and she makes her living as an Instagram socialite. After her engagement is broken off, she retreats back to her old family mansion, I want to say, where herself, Nina, and Lachlan all come together, and I'm assuming they plan out this big scam or heist together. That's all the book says, so I really don't know what to anticipate. It's a pretty big book, so I'm hoping there's a lot more to the plot. I think originally when I was looking at this book, I looked at the cover, I looked at the title, and I was like, Pretty Things. And then I read the description about the con artist and pulling off the big scam. And I was like, okay, I'm down. But now that I'm sitting here and I just read it and I'm just like, okay, I'm hoping there's more when I get into it. But again, I am excited to get into this. It will be my first, I'm reading a lot of first-time authors this month, which is a good thing. But this will be my first Janelle Brown book. So hopefully this is awesome, and I will continue to read from this author. Sometimes things are a hit or miss, but going by the title and the summary, I don't think it's going to be a hit or miss. But Pretty Things. Can't wait to read this. The next book on my TBR, and I've already started reading it last night, sort of kind of. I'm like on chapter 3, is The Guest List by Lucy Fallow. Lucy Foley. I hope I did not just butcher her name. But anyway, this book puts me in the mind of Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, being that it takes place in this secluded area that's away from civilization. Someone is murdered and it becomes like a whodunit. Only difference is The Guest List takes place, like I said, on this private island for a wedding, and everyone seems to get along. Everyone's drinking and they're dancing and celebrating this beautiful wedding, this beautiful commitment that just happened, until suddenly things just start to go eerie. Even the weather, described in the summary, even the weather goes eerie. Like, it's dark, it starts to get gloomy. There are some people there that just dislike each other. Old feuds come out, old rivalries, people want revenge, and suddenly someone is murdered. I don't know who's murdered yet, but we're trying to figure out the entire time who done it, which I said a million times is one of my favorite genres. I love mystery, I love thriller. I can't say it enough. So I 100% believe I am going to enjoy this novel. I think I'm going to enjoy this author. So I'm already going into it as it's going to be awesome. So, I don't want to hear anything else besides the fact that it's going to be awesome. So look for my review and, toward the end of the month, because this book is going to be awesome and I can't wait to talk about how awesome it was. That's it. All right, so since we're talking about con artists, let me just go ahead and get into my next book. I plan on reading The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. Again, this is a brand new artist for me. A brand new artist. What am I talking about? This is a brand new author for me. I have not read any books from this author. I don't even know if this is their first or last or whatever book. I don't even know. I just saw the cover. Again, you guys pretty much know how I pick out my books by now. I look at the cover, I read the title, I kind of read the description a little bit, like the summary, and see what's going to be about, and cover, title, description, it's a buy for me. So pretty much we have our main character, Ren, who lives in the sparkling city of Nadezra, and she's a con artist, okay? And she wants to con her way into the noble house, and I'm assuming gain the fortune for herself and her sister. However, once she gets into this noble house, I'm assuming, she finds out that there's this nightmarish dark magic going on. There's lots of rivalries and feuds between the nobles. Okay, there's a rival going on between the nobles, and she is in the mix of it. And that's all they tell me. So that's all I'm going off of. And I don't know, but it's a pretty thick book. So I'm ready for the ride. And I hope you guys are ready for the review at the end, because I'm definitely going to let you know if it was worth it. So the next book on my TBR, gotta keep the energy. I am going to read We Are All the Same by Julia Haberlin. But anyways, we are all the same in the dark. So in this town, a girl, I believe her name is Trumanel, she goes missing. Okay, she goes missing, and it's all over the what do you call it? It's all over the TV, it's all over the news. There's posters. Everyone is invested in finding her, but they are not able to, and it becomes a cold case. Okay, it closes, years pass, and her brother, who was a suspect, cleared of all charges because they don't have enough information to implicate him or suspect him. So I'm assuming, I don't even know if I should go in assuming the brother was a suspect or what. You have a police officer, I believe her name is Odette Tucker, something like that. Odette, what's your name, girl? Odette Tucker, who had a relationship with this missing girl. But that's not what brings them together, because years later, even though they're not able to find Trumanel, another girl goes missing, and it kind of opens or reopens the case. And now Odette, this new police officer who's invested in her job, she wants to discover and uncover and open up and solve. She wants to solve both of these cases, and that is where our story begins. Again, I'm going to go into this with complete optimism, and again, I like the cover, so I'm hoping I really, really like it and I enjoy it, and I can continue to read books by Julia Heberlin. But again, we won't know until the very end of this month when I give you guys my honest review. With that being said, guys, we've got 2 more books to talk about, and then we will be done with it, and I can go ahead, log off, and start reading. I have Christina Lauren's in A Holidaze. Pretty much this book is about a woman whose life is just not working out. Her love has, her career has, and she's living home with her parents. So who doesn't hate that scenario? You're living home with your parents, your job is not as fulfilling as you thought it would be, love is not there, and you're just a young adult and you're trying to get things on track, get things rolling, and it's just not working out. Girl, I feel ya. So she spends the holiday in one of her favorite cabins. In the book, it is the last time she'll be there. I don't know why it's the last time. I don't know if they're burning the place down, if it's no longer going to be a place for her to retreat, but it's the last time she'll be there. Okay, so as she's leaving and she's kind of giving her last final thought, she just, I guess, says a prayer to God, like, please, please, please help me be happy again. And suddenly she wakes up and she is reliving that holiday, that week or two. I don't know what she spends there, but she relives that holiday over and over and over again, like a time loop. Okay, until she can get her, it says, until she can get her true love under the mistletoe. It's a romance novel, so her life pretty much fell apart into shambles, and it's not going to get back together until she discovers her true love and gets her true love under the mistletoe. So it's a classic romance novel. I'm thinking Hallmark type, Lifetime, Christmas type. So I really should read this around Christmas time. If I happen to not do a review on this book at the end of the month, it's probably because I decided to save it for Christmas around December, November-ish, because it's giving me the feels for a November-ish, December read. And I have no problem pushing it that far back to be a November, December read, because it just looks like it should be. But again, Christina Lauren. Last but not least, I am going to continue the Six of Crows duology, and I'm going to go ahead and finish off with The Crooked Kingdom, and hopefully if I love this book, I'll go ahead and pick up the Shadow and Bone series, and then I'll begin to finally watch the show. And I just heard that there's going to be a season 2, so yay, right? Kingdom picks up exactly where Six of Crows left off. They were able to pull off that incredible and seemed impossible heist, thinking they were going to, I believe it was 30 million Kruger, thinking they were going to get and divvy up 30 or 40 million Kruger, which I'm saying is dollars. However, they are double crossed, okay? And the book picks up on that point. Okay, so Kaz is pretty much pissed about this deal not following through. He's pissed about him being double crossed, and he wants revenge. Not only does he want revenge, but he's also a wanted man. He's double crossed people along the way to perform and to execute that heist. So they are after him. He's after his crew. He's a member short, so he's got to get his member back to have his complete team. You got to have all 6 of the crows in order to execute, right? You also still have the dangerous drug. I believe it's param judum or something like that, or judum param. I'm saying it all kinds of ways, but you still got this dangerous drug out that is enhancing the magical abilities of these Grisha people, and who knows who knows what's gonna happen with that, But anyways, that is it for my TBR. Alrighty, book friends, that is all for today. That is my August TBR, and I'm gonna go ahead and start reading right now because I've got time winding down before I gotta go back to work. So if you are reading any of the books I'm reading for August, please comment down and let me know. If there is something you want to go ahead and suggest for next month already, please let me know so I can order them and have them ready before the month even comes. But if that is all, then let that be it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Let's stay connected. My Instagram and my short story blog is also in the description, so you can find some of my writing there. And I cannot wait to see you back here at J Reads next time. Bye.